Hey, everybody. It is TexAgs Rewind on a Friday. Hey, buddy.
Nuno?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Is it weird that we said hi to each other 45 minutes ago, but we're doing it again on the Rewind because it feels like it's a different part of the show?
It wouldn't have been. Oh,
what the heck
how the
just
hell
happened?
did that happen?
That's like you didn't even move.
I mean, my hand moved that much.
It's like a frog in there, dude.
Yeah.
Aggie basketball. I don't want to call it a big game, but they need to
They're
keep
all
rolling.
big. They're all big.
yeah.
Because you know what? When you beat Missouri, when you go Florida, LSU, and Missouri, and you just beat a top 20 team at home and ran them out the gym, the next one is really big. And I think maybe even more so when it's a team that's going to finish pretty low in the standings. So, but that team happens to be coming off a big win in Rupp Arena. They're going to be confident. They're going to be feeling good. So this is a very dangerous game. It's one of the furthest road trips you got in the SEC, and it's against a team that's going to be feeling really good right now. And it's one of those that you do get something for beating them because it's a road win and it boosts that all-important SEC record. But you have a lot more to lose than gain because I think you just won 3, David, of these swing games. LSU you're going to be fighting for a spot with. Florida you're going to be fighting for a spot with. And Missouri you're going to be fighting for a spot with. And you won 3 of them. Don't give one back if you can at all avoid it. That's why this is big.
So we talk about that. Billy was on, obviously. Mark French was on to talk about it. We had Jason Howell talk a little A&M recruiting. And then cringy, we had OB and Kennedy Cavin doing a little dancing on the show. Not by choice. Yeah, it was not good. Cavin did a little Elaine dance. And then OB did the the elliptical dance. Like yeah.
That's a dance?
That's his dance, yeah. The elliptical. He didn't call it the elliptical. That's what I call it because it looks like what he looks like.
I was going to say something, but it probably wouldn't be PC, but damn, it was going to be funny.
Was it?
But unlike Olin, I know when to bite my tongue on such things. It was funny, Nuno, and I'm going to tell you about it after the break. But him on the elliptical, Kennedy doing the Elaine, I'm not even going to watch it. Frankly, I'm glad I missed it.
In fact, don't watch this part.
I expect you to have more control than that.
Yeah, today was one of those days. Just watch it.
Kennedy's dancing. You slay me.
Are you guys familiar with this song?
Yeah,
everybody dance now.
I've heard it many times especially back in my carousing days.
This is CC Music Factory.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever it's called. CNC Music Factory, I should say. Cavin, you familiar?
Very.
You want to do that dance again? What is that? Like a duck? Like attacking? A snake attacking?
At this point in my dancing career,
my question is: when you dance, is that face you're making with your lips? Is that part of the dance?
It just has to happen every time I dance. Like it's not a choice that I make.
I understand that because when I dance, I look stupid when I dance. That's I look even when I don't, but especially when I'm dancing. So I have to do the. I have to do the, I don't know, something with my mouth. Like if I'm dancing, first of all, I'm not really dancing. I'm just kind of flexing a little bit.
Right.
And then I go like.
It kind of looks like you at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh my. Olin, the image of you like doing your little run man
my what?
thing, we did it a couple months ago.
Go show us again.
Oh, when I was
not that one.
Which one?
When you were like kicking your legs up in the air and like running like that.
Yeah.
We thought you were gonna like break something.
Oh yeah.
That's forever burned into my memory. Forever. I'll never forget that.
I think this is TexAgs Radio. I'm going to throw you some names and just to give me a little bit of info. So one of them is Walker White that I wished his name was Walter White, but that's a different story for a different day. Talk to me a little bit about this top quarterback there from the Southeast area.
Well, he's got some strong Arkansas ties there. Grew up in Arkansas. Family has, I think, generations there. But he's a guy that's established himself as one of the top quarterback recruits in the Southeast. He's been on the radar for a number of years, actually. I got to see him last spring. Big kid, 6'4", 215, quick release. It's thrown for a ton of yards at Little Rock Christian Academy. And, he's I do know that Petrino is somebody that intrigues them. So we'll see how it all pans out there. But I could see him becoming a legitimate target, even with all the Arkansas ties. He's shown that he's open to other options and not just locked in with the Razorbacks.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's go with Jaden Reddle, or is it Riddell?
I'll just Riddell, I think, is what it is. He's more of a tight end target, but he plays a lot of receiver out there at Raymore Peculiar. Big 6'5", 210, well, maybe even bigger than that now, but multi-sport athlete. He's really seen his stock rise over the last several months. I want to say in September he saw Alabama and Ohio State and a number of schools come in, and this is a guy that's been on my radar. I highlighted him in late September, and just a really long, fluid athlete that could be that kind of a flex tight end, more of a kind of like a Jake Johnson type at tight end, and brings an extremely unique athletic skill set to the table.
Aggies are going to have a chance in every game if they dictate tempo and if they come out with an aggression on both ends of the floor, right? And so, it was interesting, and I was watching the national championship game on Monday, and the pregame, I think it was Molly McGrath was with Kirby, right? And my buddy jokingly, he went to Bama, he was sitting there with me, he said, watch, he's going to say something about aggression. And sure enough, Molly asked, what's the one word, you told your team pregame? He said, aggression, right? And I think that somewhat, I was thinking about A&M basketball, this applies so well, is like they were the ones on the attack the entire game except for that one mini lull in the second half. And I think if you see a team, look, we're a mature team, there's talent. If you just come out with some sort of aggression on both ends of the floor, you're going to have a chance in every single one of these conference games. Doesn't mean you win them all, but it means you put yourself in really good position.
Talking to Mark French here on TexAgs Radio. Mark, 3-0 in conference play. I don't want to say that, we talked, 2 weeks ago about, can they turn the button on to take their game to another level? Easier said than done. It feels like they have, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You think that, you feel like they've kind of turned a corner, and I think a lot of it has to do with, Dexter Dennis kind of coming into form, and also and Boot kind of getting back to his old self. That's something me and you had talked about earlier in the season, is sometimes with that, fourth, fifth year guy, conference play is really the prize for him. And so he's turned it on as the lights have gotten brighter. And my goodness, Dexter Dennis, 13 points, 12 rebounds. Just felt like he was all over the floor, right? His defensive presence was made known. Anyways, I just feel like they're really turning a corner. They have their starting five now, and all the roles are kind of, falling into place. And you feel like Hefner, if he could continue to shoot the ball well, gives them some punch off the bench as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say, too, look, I don't ever worry about their intensity, but I feel like their intensity is matching their defensive efforts. And the defense we've seen recently has been better than just good. It's been elite.
Yeah, and I think you can almost separate them, Nuno. I think there's a difference between intensity and aggression. I think you can be intense and Buzz can have you all riled up, ready to go. But when it comes to imposing your will on the other team, that's kind of what I'm talking about with the aggression. Like, I felt like we completely imposed our will on Mizzou. And if I'll be honest, I was even a little disappointed in the second half, because I wanted to come out and I wanted that killer instinct, right?
Well, for college football, it's massive. I mean, Clemson, up until yesterday, I think the narrative, and you'd have to fight against it if you didn't believe this, was that Clemson was on the downhill slide.
Yep.
And do I think people were getting carried away kind of to write them off, period, especially in the days of the 12-team playoff? Yeah. But I totally agreed. I think it's already happened that they have slipped out of the truly elite. When was the last time they were in the playoff? 2020, the year A&M didn't go. I think they didn't go last year, right? Or did they? Last year it was Michigan.
Yeah.
It was Cincinnati, Michigan, Bama, and Georgia. So 2 years ago, it's not a long drought, but just what's transpired on the field the last couple of years, and it goes beyond just a quarterback. You know, it goes beyond trying to replace Trevor Lawrence, and they had the wrong guy with Ungalele. But the offenses they've had, they lose a guy that's been with Dabo from almost day one, I mean, maybe day one, in Venables, who's they built their success around really creative offenses and then this great defense. And you lose Venables and you hire a guy with very little experience from within to run their defense. I think their caliber of player has slipped. Not incredibly, but out of that Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, and now who has the best, Bama, Ohio State, Georgia range. So when I say they've slipped, when people say that, I agree. But I think they're still, thank you. They're a top 10 program.
Yeah.
You know, but that's down from being a top 3. And there's a big difference. And Dabo hasn't had the most positive PR, and he says stupid crap, and it just makes him look like, in my opinion, a complete weirdo. He seems out of touch. He seems, and this hiring Garrett Riley, to me, is a complete shot in the arm. It shakes up the ACC. It shakes up college football, and it brings people to the conclusion of, hey, can Clemson be right back? Because they do still have, if it ain't top 3 talent, it's top 6 talent or 7 talent.
Right.
They do play in the weakest, well, we got the Pac-12. They do play in a weak Power 5 conference. He's not in the SEC. He's not even in the Big Ten. They could jump right back if Garrett Riley, and by the way, Garrett Riley and Cade Klubnik sounds like a hell of a combination.
Mm-hmm. All right, Billy, tell them what to do.
Don't do whatever the hell the elliptical dance is.
But and then he does this like with his teeth, yeah.
No, I don't know.
You know, like when you've seen him on the elliptical.
I don't have good enough eyes to see people's facial expressions, but I do see that giant towel he wears tucked in. You guys don't understand, like a huge roll-up towel. It's like a bath towel.
Yeah, it's a bath towel.
Tucked into the shirt like an 80s linebacker.
Yes.
A Rocky Balboa going
with his
to punch
friar
me
look.
with the friar haircut and the friar cut, and the other day he was all gray Hans and Franz. So anyway,
I get that.
Like Hans and Franz would do, smash the like button, subscribe, pump you up.